He always said he didn't do it. For 25 years, Marcus Hill repeated those words like a prayer no one believed. I didn't kill her. I wasn't even there. But the jury didn't see a man. They saw a story that made sense. A story written by a broken alibi, a faulty memory, and a system too tired to listen. Marcus was 23 when his life stopped. It was a humid night in Atlanta, 1998. A college student named Leah Porter was found strangled in her apartment. The crime shocked the neighborhood, not because it was rare, but because it was brutal. The police wanted answers, fast. Marcus, a local mechanic who sometimes fixed cars with Leah's friends, became a suspect after neighbors said she'd seen a tall black man near her building that night. That was all it took. The next morning, detectives knocked on his door. He was making coffee when they cuffed him. At first, he wasn't worried. I didn't do anything, he told his mother as they led him away. They'll see. But they didn't, because his only alibi, his girlfriend at the time, Tanya Green, said he'd been with her that night until around 10 p.m. The coroner estimated Leah had been killed between 10:30 and midnight. When detectives asked Tanya to confirm, her voice trembled. He left around 10. I don't know where he went after that. Those words sealed his fate. At trial, the prosecutor painted Marcus as angry, jealous, unstable. They said Leah had rejected his advances. They said he snapped. Tanya sat in the front row crying as they replayed his interrogation tape, where exhaustion made him stutter and pause. The jury heard guilt in his silence. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Years blurred. He wrote letters, hundreds of them, to lawyers, journalists, innocence projects, even pastors. Most never wrote back. His mother, Dolores Hill, visited every Sunday until she couldn't anymore. Keep your faith, she told him. Even when they don't see the truth, God does. But faith fades when the walls don't. Then, in 2022, 24 years after his conviction, a journalist named Rachel Monroe came across Marcus's case while researching wrongful imprisonments tied to faulty eyewitness testimony. Something about the details caught her: the rushed trial, the single witness, the weak forensic evidence. But what stopped her cold was one line buried deep in a police report. Suspect's alibi call unconfirmed due to incomplete phone record. That line didn't make sense. In 1998, cell towers were already logging calls. Why was there no record? Rachel, in her mid-30s, sharp-eyed with messy auburn hair and a relentless sense of curiosity, filed a records request. Weeks later, she received a CD labeled ATL Metro Archive, 1998. It contained old telecom logs, scratchy, corrupted, half-complete. But hidden in the metadata was a single outgoing call from Tanya Green's landline at 10:42 p.m. that night to Marcus Hill's pager. It wasn't proof of innocence, but it shattered the story that had convicted him. Rachel found Tanya, now 49, working as a nurse in Macon. When she opened the door and saw the journalist holding that old police photo of Marcus, her face went pale. I thought about that night every day, Tanya whispered. They made me say he left early. The detective said if I stuck to that, they'd let me go home. I was scared. I didn't think it mattered. Rachel hit record. Tanya told her everything. The fear, the pressure, the guilt. She said Marcus had stayed with her until almost midnight. They'd ordered takeout. They'd argued over his dream of leaving Atlanta to open a garage somewhere quiet. He'd fallen asleep on the couch. She'd made the call to his pager after midnight, trying to apologize for the fight. She didn't realize it had gone through earlier. The detective's incomplete record wasn't incomplete at all. It was hidden. Rachel took her findings to the Georgia Innocence Project. Attorney Daniel Reyes, mid-40s, Puerto Rican American, known for his dogged pursuit of justice, took the case. This isn't just about a phone call, he said. This is about every man who's lost decades to a sentence built on convenience. They filed a motion for review, citing suppressed evidence and witness coercion. The prosecutor's office resisted at first. We stand by the original conviction, they said. But when the new district attorney, Ellen Drake, reviewed the evidence, she ordered a full reinvestigation. Rachel sat in the courtroom the day the hearing began. Marcus, now 48, walked in wearing a pale blue prison uniform, his hair graying at the temples. The room fell silent. Tanya was there too, trembling as she took the stand. Her voice cracked. "I lied," she said. "He was with me. The police told me what to say. I didn't understand what it would cost him." The courtroom buzzed like electricity. Then came the bombshell. Rachel had tracked down a retired telecom technician who confirmed that multiple call records from that night had been removed from the database at the police department's request. The original detective, now deceased, had claimed data corruption, but in the file she obtained, the deletion timestamp was manual. The judge's gavel echoed like thunder. This court finds new, compelling evidence sufficient to vacate the conviction. Marcus's hands shook as the cuffs came off. For the first time in 25 years, he walked out under real sunlight. Outside, cameras flashed. Reporters shouted. He didn't speak. He looked up at the sky, squinting, as though it might speak back after all that silence. Then he said quietly, "I'm not free until they admit what they did." Rachel's story went viral. The broken alibi became a national headline. The governor called for a review of all convictions tied to that detective's cases. Within months, 2 more wrongful imprisonments were overturned. But Marcus struggled. Freedom, after a lifetime of walls, feels like vertigo. He slept on a mattress on the floor of his sister's apartment. He'd wake up at 3 a.m. half expecting guards. He carried a habit of silence like a shadow. When reporters asked if he forgave Tanya, he said, "You don't forgive a scared person. You understand them." One day, Rachel received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end said, "Tell Marcus, I'm sorry." It was the son of the lead detective, a man who'd grown up watching his father hailed as a hero. He didn't mean to ruin anyone's life, the voice said, but he did. "And I wanted you to know I found the missing tape." He recorded the interview with the girl. The next morning, Rachel met him in a diner off Highway 85. He slid her a cassette labeled Green Interview, July 12, 98. The tape was crackly, but the voices were clear. "Tanya, he was here all night. Detective, that's not what you're going to say. If you love him, you'll help him by letting this go." That tape became the final nail. Marcus received an official apology and compensation, though no sum could buy back 25 years. But he didn't want revenge. He started teaching mechanics to young men recently released from prison. "They need to believe there's a road after this," he said. Rachel's podcast episode ended with his voice, soft but certain. "They broke my alibi, but they didn't break me." And in that moment, he wasn't a case number. He was proof that even a single phone call, one small thread of truth, can unravel years of injustice. This is Justice Uncovered, uncovering the truth one case at a time. If this story moved you, share it. Someone out there might still be waiting for their call. Comment below, how many lives do you think one lie can destroy? Subscribe to Justice Uncovered for more stories where truth finally speaks louder than silence.